companies, a lot of just executives told me I wasn't going to be anything. So I was really skeptical the first day that my album was released. They were not playing on the radio. I mean, I wasn't getting any love, but I prayed about it, and I guess it happened for me. And I want to say hi to all those people that told me I wasn't going to be anything.
I love people. It's not the fashion. It's the people in fashion I love.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Brose here, and welcome to the Brose Breakdown. No, the Brose brand. Sorry, I have to. If I sound a little bit under the weather, it's just because I'm getting through a small cold. Protect yourselves out here. But yes. But before we get to the video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share, and comment down below what is your favorite moments or parts in the video, or what you want me to improve. So yes, let's get to it. Now we're on analyzing the eras fashion edition with Brandy. Now Brandy is someone who I love musically, and I think she's just such an amazing artist. But I also wanted to take a look at her image a little bit, her fashion eras, because I do feel as though she is also one of the people. None of her fashion eras or her even looks from hair to even slight makeup styles were all different. So I definitely want to analyze that. I really haven't seen videos on Brandy per se, so I want to give her some praise. So she was born February 11th, which was a couple of days ago. I'm filming this, but yes, 1979, in Macomb, Mississippi. But she was raised in Carson, California later in life. She's the older sister of Ray J. She signed a record deal in 1993, and then later that year she debuted her self-titled album. And she also, before that, was an actress. So let's get to it. So Brandy is known for her impact on both music, but also in fashion. She has gone through several notable styles over the years, especially as her career has evolved, the 90s to the present. Brandy is definitely synonymously known with braids. Like when you think of braids, you really you think of course, black women, but you think of Brandy. Brandy had all styles, individuals, singles, micros. Like Brandy had it all, and different colors too. So we definitely have to get into that
next, because that's you're guaranteed to have a good hair day, right?
That take a long time to do?
Yeah, 8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours.
All in one day?
All in one day.
Well, that's a whole day.
Yeah, that is basically.
But they last a long time.
They do. They last about 3 months, but I try to get mine done every 3 weeks,
It's a great look, really.
Thank you.
So let's start with the first era, and I would definitely say this is like the 90s girl next door pop princess era. In the 90s, Brandy was known for her youthful / approachable style. Think about baggy jeans, oversized sweaters, sometimes overalls, crop tops, mixed with a little bit of hip hop. She also was, the roundaway girl, so you could definitely see her sporting overall dresses, denim dresses. She definitely had the shoulder length braids. She was definitely marketed as, that girl that a lot of people look up to, the good girl image, because around that time you had Aaliyah, you had Monica, who they often compared to the three. Leah was like the laid back, chill, fly girl. Monica was more so the Mark has a stern, larger than life character, and Brandy was more so the good, polished girl. So they all were marketed differently. So, and her image kind of sold that. You will always see her dress very age appropriate. So then that was more so the early 90s, kind of like 94 to 95, 96, I would say. And she was Moesha as well, so her style was very similar to that. As you can see, her glam was very 90s as well. The small, thin eyebrows, the dark lip liner, as you can see, styling, collar shirts, very sheer sheen. As the years go on from 94, 95, 96, the braids started getting longer and longer, past her shoulder, and you will see her down to the middle of her back. And she was getting older too, so she was just really growing up before our eyes. So continuing in the 90s, which is 97, 98, 99, she was in her young adult era. The style was definitely still the same. Again, the length of the braids got longer. She was trying different looks. I know she had this one look with dark lipstick. I definitely liked that, but I think that was kind of a staple back in the 90s too. And she was she was still in her role model phase, if that makes sense. Didn't really show a lot of skin. She kind of dressed her age, but also a little bit more mature too. It was still a mature look too. You would see Brandy at 18, 19 wearing this stuff, 20, but you could also see a 25, 26 even a young 30-year-old wearing it as well. Her style, it really hasn't changed. It just grew in the 90s, specifically from 94 to 99. She definitely did try different styles with the braids, which I loved. You know, in 99, she had a lot of endorsement deals. Like, she became cover girl in 1999. She also represented the brand Candies in 1998 and DKNY in the spring of 2000. Well, we'll get into that. And also in the late 90s, she was represented by Wilhelmina Model Agency, one of the leading launch brands. Also, again, like I mentioned earlier, in 1999, she released the Brandy doll, which sold over millions worldwide. So she definitely was in her larger-than-life area and just becoming a big brand, both in music and television. We have to give her that, but also like in endorsements and kind of in fashion.
Now Brandy's a doll. So let's kick up our heels. Sparkle pants. Dress up real fine. Styling skirt. Moving so right. Center stage tonight. Cool braids. This is our time, girls. In a spotlight, watch us shine, girls. Together. Brandy doll comes with 2 outfits.
I'm appreciative. What's your dog gonna do?
Are you?
No, I'm very appreciative. It's scary to look at my just like me.
Oh my goodness.
That's real good.
I wish you could have brought us one so we could see that.
Christmas, right? Yeah, Christmas.
They will be out in time for
Yes,
Christmas.
I think it's like 50,000 that's gonna be released for Christmas. Wow. So
50,000 little bitty Brandy. Go on with your bad self, girl.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you.
So I know that
Then we can also transition to the early 2000s, you know, becoming more mature as an artist, R&B. You know, she's come from the heights of Cinderella, the success of Moesha, her 2 biggest albums, probably in her discography to date. And, you know, she was just really on top of the world. She even had her own doll and various commercials from CoverGirl to different things. I would definitely say for her though, 2000s was definitely still a transitional year because Moesha was still going on, but she was getting older and she wanted to venture out. They were anticipating her next album, which was Full Moon, but she embraced more of a glamour yet still youthful style. She began wearing sleek sailor pieces like silk blouses, more so high-waisted pants, silk sleek dresses again. Her look often accessorized with statement earrings and bold prints. So then we started seeing a real change in 2001. You know, she stepped away from the braids. She started to, you know, incorporate more like weaves and wigs in this era. You definitely get to see she was wearing, showing a little bit more skin, not too much, you know, showing a little bit of belly. She was still a little bit conservative, but still in a grown-up way. You know, she was wearing, you know, the bandeau top, the butterfly top, and the Wait a Minute video. So then as we get into 2002, Full Moon. And then I think Full Moon was meant to be what Aphrodisiac was, but she got pregnant. So this style was, you know, the makeup was lighter. She wasn't really wearing braids. Her outfits during this era was similar to her old era. Still covered up, still had a slight edge to it. It was more so darker tone feel compared to the other two. It was more like edgy. It had a more edgier look. The darker tone colors in her hair. You know, the not black, but like a dark lip in her album packaging. But, you know, on the covers, which looks beautiful, and, you know, it's more of a lighter lip, lighter tone makeup. So it was kind of like a duality of the two. I feel like this era kind of really influenced a lot of people's image as well. And then you have to talk about this new MTV Music Awards where she was just, you know, dazzling. Like, this was something that people never seen Brandy before. So she got a lot of, like, feedback on that look. So as we enter the other 2000s, her style was really like much of what it represented the 2000s was. You know, 2000s fashion, Y2K or whatever, you know, they always dressed it to make it seem like it was some glorious, you know, just sweatsuits and stuff, which it was, but some of it was just like baggy denim jeans, regular top, or like kind of like a mom top in like flare jeans, a shoe, heel in the bag. But then as we move to 2004, we kind of get more of a change of Brandy. This is where I think, you know, a lot of people didn't get Brandy because Brandy was going more of a sexy appeal, like the Aphrodisiac era. And this is where, you know, the makeup was light, you know, pretty much the same, but, you know, the hair was brown, orange, and red, like that whole undertone, that auburn color. And she wanted to give more of a sex appeal, and you know, her videos like aphrodisiac. And I don't think people were ready for that. You know, Brandy had to keep up with a lot of the times because a lot of people were selling sex. Like you had Beyonce, you had Ashanti, you had Sierra. Like, you know, these girls who Brandy was still young because she started so young, but she was kind of better in the game at this time, so she had to switch it up. And I think at that time it was just a lot of pressure to adapt to that. But I feel like she sold it when it comes to the clothing wise. Like when she wore this dress at the BET Awards, I really like that. She was wearing like flowy dresses, sling back heels. It was definitely more mature. But they made it seem like back then, she wasn't really as like... They made it seem like she was overtly sexy. When I look at the photos in the 2004 era, 2005, it wasn't... Like, compared to nowadays, it wasn't nothing. But again, that was like 20 years ago, so... I get it, but I still don't. Like, she was just showing her arms, her belly, and a little bit of cleavage and a little bit of leg. Like, come on, like it's not like she was just wearing pasties and stuff. Like, come on. But yeah, I felt like they were doing too much. I actually like this era of fashion for her. I like this glam of her too. I think that color brought out her eyes and some of her features as well. So I feel like this was one of my favorite eras, fashionably, for Brandy. And you know, throughout the year 2005, 2006, she was dealing with a lot of what happened, and you know, not the big success like the past 3 albums did. So during that time, it was transitional year. You know, her hair was definitely, she wasn't wearing braids. I think by this time, to the later 2000s, she was just definitely wearing, you know, the different weaves and, you know, mix unit braids, wand curls. You know, the fashion was, I feel like this kind of era was a little bit, they aged her a little bit, and what you'll see examples of, I feel like I think that was the time era, because Brandy wasn't really old in 2006. She was like still in her 20s, so it was like, why are they dressing her like this? So now we enter the later 2000s to the 2010s. I would definitely say it was kind of sophisticated, mature. This era saw Brandy transition to more sophisticated fashion choices. She often tailored elegant pieces that showcase a more mature, refined style, like fitted suits, forward-length dresses, shin-length dresses, sleek hairdos, you know, bangs, not really too much bobs, but like shoulder-length hair, middle part. This era was kind of like, you know, a lot to her because she was kind of doing human at this time after, you know, being in that, you know, unfortunate event. So she was just trying to rebuild herself. And I would definitely say when it came to like the human era, this also was one of my favorites. I love the jet black hair Brandy chose to wear. Yeah, so yeah, 2008, 2009, I really loved the dark tone hairs. Her style it looked good. It fit her. It was chic for her. Like, you know, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't pushing her too sexy like they did with Aphrodisiac, but it wasn't too closed up like how, you know, how people see Brandy as. So I felt like it was great. My biggest takeaway from this era was just like her glam more so than her fashion. I did like, you know, when she would perform like at the TV shows and stuff like that. I did like her looks, like, you know, the all black look that she did on CBS. I love that look. It was on Tyra, the glorious hat with the gloves, and it was very chic for her. And I think around this time, Kim Kardashian was kind of help styling her too. So that was pretty interesting. Now we enter in the 2010s. So she had a reality show with Ray J. She was on TV, and she was just, you know, still trying to... Human wasn't a bad album, but it's still, people were still overshadowing with like different things that she had going on. So Brandy was just kind of just like more so in rebuild mode. But as of style wise, in the 2010s to like 2013, it was, I would definitely say this was more so her glam and sexy era too. She was grown, she was in her 30s now. So luxe gowns, so sophisticated silhouette, refined aesthetics, and then, you know, 211 album. So and associated photos with that was very sophisticated, sleek. It was very edgy. I really loved this era with her. You know, she would have the long curly hair, the long straight bust down, but she also would do a shortcut too. You know, that was new because we didn't see Brandy in shortcuts. We always see her with braids. Brandy this era was balanced with boldness, elegance with subtle hints of sensuality, and opting for metallic tones, deep cuts, and glamorous hairstyles, you know. And, you know, 211, it was definitely futuristic. I really love 211. And I wish the label would have pushed that more because I feel like they could have pushed her more in the limelight. But fashion-wise, I love 211 too. And I think it's probably my favorite. I might take a step and say stab and say that might be my favorite fashion era of Brandy. And, you know, because you would see her, she was wearing a lot of different looks. You know, it was all cohesive, but you see her in like a short updo, or you'll see her with big hair, or you in the short, like with the short mini dress. Like, I loved it. Or when she paid homage to Whitney Houston, she had that little faux hawk. It was different. It was cool. It was definitely sexy for Brandy. And then as we transitioned to 2014, her modern week streetwear in the mid 2010s, she started embracing a more casual, urban, chic, and a chic aesthetic, incorporating street influences and blending mixed glam. You know, during that time, the trends were streetwear meets high fashion, oversized pieces, athleisure wear. You know, that was like it. So this is kind of like 2014 to 2016. It was definitely different. You know, she was rocking big hair a lot. She was on The Game, and she was in her acting bag a little bit. She kind of wasn't really making music. So as we get into the 2017-2019 era, I would definitely say this took an even more bold and more experimental turn, which happens throughout later the decade and going into early 2020s, combining a more edgy and confident look. And you definitely can see the bold patterns, futuristic aesthetics, mixing kind of like, you know, oversized masculine with feminine elements too. You know, she had the big hair, more so twists rather than braids. She would later wear the braids in like the 2020 with the release of B7, but this was more so the big twist, bohemian twist that she would wear, butterfly twist. I don't know, there's various words for the type of twist Brandy had, so if somebody wants to correct me, they can. Bigger two-strand twist she would do, or bohemian style. During this time, she would wear like oversized. She did also gain a little bit of weight, so it kind of like changed the style of clothing that she would wear too. Also on TV shows, she was on Star. She finished up The Game. She was at various appearances, and, you know, still doing concerts. You know, her style was a little bit eclectic, with various diverse palettes and retro influences as well. It was definitely giving bohemian as well. Bohemian chic. Brandy mixed a little bit of classic glamour sometimes, but also was retro elements, embracing like various vibrant colors, playful patterns, bold accessories. I would definitely say it was influenced by where she was at in life and her career. She was kind of just like enjoying this time. It was very different for her. She did look very pretty. I definitely liked more her style towards the end of that era, like the 2020, 2021, when she was still promoting B7. As we then move on for that era was kind of long, but it was short because her style was very much the same. It wasn't totally different. But as we get to the 2022 and beyond, what her style is, I would definitely say it incorporated a lot of both playful yet evolved sophistication. She's been, you know, inspired with streetwear looks that blend high fashion with casual looks. This incorporated elements of her earlier style, but her new style as well. You definitely can see right now she's kind of rocking the pantsuit era with the gloves. She's doing multiple different styles like that. I definitely like her glamness era. It's kind of a mix of the glam of early 2010s with the mixture of what she's doing now. It's very up to date and pushing forward as well. Throughout all these eras, Brandy has stayed true to her unique mix of elegance, creative, and confident style. She continuously pushed boundaries, blending casual style with glam to create a signature look that feels timeless. All her eras were something different and so unique. So whether you see her as a fashion icon or she just, you know, paved the way for everybody, it was very different. It was very unique to that time period in her life. Like every fashion era, you can visually see it and be like, oh, this was that. And that's what I love about artists like Brandy and like other artists who differentiate each style or each era differently, whether it's the look, the glam, everything. So shout out to Brandy. She had a lot of different fashion moments, and I just wanted to talk about it. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I thank you so much for watching. And let me know what's your favorite Brandy / look down below. I'll see you on my next one. Peace.
Girls looked up to me, and I just didn't want to disappoint them. And plus, I was afraid.
White dress, you know, there's something about you that feels very
peach.
pure. Oh, is it peach, y'all? I see white.